What's up everybody, this is Danny and welcome to the video comparison of the new Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra versus the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So what I want to do is I want to start with the front-facing camera first. You're seeing it in 4K 30 frames per second, but they both can shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second. And I wanted to separate this from the photo comparison that's coming up because Samsung touted that their video had gotten better in the daytime and at nighttime. So I want to see how that stacks up against the best of the best, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So let's see if that video has really improved. Let's do it. So let's jump right in with daytime, and the thing that I noticed on most of the video is that the Galaxy S22 Ultra tends to create the brighter video, so I think a lot of people will like that. You get a boost in the shadows as well. Look at the tree in the back here where the iPhone tends to land with heavier contrast, but I think that we can all agree that in daytime, the video looks fantastic. When it comes to more challenging scenarios like this one, I still prefer the iPhone's video. Not that the S22 Ultra's video is bad by any means, the balloon is more vibrant and the overall video pops more, but the balance of the iPhone 13 Pro Max's video I prefer here with better control of the highlights in the clouds and on the water reflections, but both are really smooth. People have been asking me to do a light reflection or flare test, so here you go. There is improved glass covering the sensor on the S22 Ultra, and it does show here. You can definitely see it on both, but the Ultra is so much better. I think you'll be happy with this if you decide to buy it. Here is a little more cinematic way of testing the light flares. I know a lot of people use these phones as filmmaking tools these days, including myself, so this is what you can expect. The big reflections on the iPhone make it easily identifiable as smartphone footage, but the S22 Ultra is doing much better here, so kudos to Samsung on this front. The S22 Ultra can shoot up to 8K video in 24 frames per second, so that is great to have. It's not good in all scenarios, but bright daylight is where it shines the best. But dang, is there a huge crop, which I don't like. But when you punch in, you can see that extra resolution. The iPhone is still sharp as well and full of detail, but that 8K is crazy, so this is a great option during the day for landscape video like this. If you want to see an example of what the video looks like on all lenses, here is a demo. That's the ultra wide video. You can see that the iPhone is quite a bit wider, so you'll get more in the frame. There is the main sensor video, so you can see here in this scenario, the S22 Ultra is creating that brighter video. Then the 3x zoom is next. It's a little bit sharper on the iPhone, but both look pretty good. And then there is the 10x optical zoom on the S22 Ultra, which is absolutely awesome to have. And there is the 9x maximum digital on the iPhone, which actually looks much better than I thought it would. When shooting 4K 60 frames per second video with the Galaxy S22 Ultra, you can shoot 4K 60 from all of the lenses, but you're going to have to choose the lens before you hit record, because after you hit record, you can hit this 1x button, but it doesn't do much. You can pinch to zoom in, but that looks like digital crop, and when you start zooming in heavily, it falls apart pretty easily. On the iPhone, you can switch the video after you hit the record button, but it is limited to 3x zoom, so it does have its quirks too, and if you want to shoot from the ultra wide in 4K 60, you have to choose that first before recording, and then you are limited to 1.5x zoom from there, so I thought I would mention this. Here is a quick depth of field test. Both have very nice natural bokeh. The rail itself is sharper on the iPhone, but let me know which one that you like better in the comment section below. If you want a video camera with the most options, then the S22 Ultra does have more features, tons to choose from on the menu. Director's view isn't new, but I thought I would mention this since you can record from the front-facing camera at the same time as the rear camera, and you can switch in between the lenses while you are recording, so that can be a unique way to capture an experience without using third-party software. There are some things as well as being able to shoot super slow motion at 960 frames per second compared to the iPhone's 240 frames per second. Sorry, I did a pretty poor job of demonstrating that here, but the 960 frames per second video doesn't look sharp, but cool to have on a phone nonetheless. Next up is the stabilization test. By the way, I'm using the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 S22 Ultra if you were wondering. If you live in the United States like I do, then you'll have this chipset, but depending on where you live, you might have the Exynos 2200, but I can't speak for that device quite yet. But looking at the stabilization, it does look like the iPhone sensor shift stabilization is doing a little bit better. It's more stable without picking up as much of the bounce in the walk. But remember, you have super steady mode on the Ultra, but it will scale down to 1080p up to 60 frames per second. So keep that in mind. The next thing that I wanted to test was portrait mode video or cinematic mode on the iPhone. They both look really good, but Samsung surprised me here. It's doing a better job and I like the contrast. Now check out this test on my hands. the Samsung is doing a great job in between my fingers where the iPhone is tripping up. So this is very impressive. So I'm seeing some improvements in portrait mode video on the Galaxy S22 Ultra. The focus changes are also nice on both of these phones, so I'm liking where portrait mode video is heading. And yeah, it can use some more tweaking here and there, but man, this is so much better now than it was when it was first introduced. And for some reason, if you didn't know, you can shoot this mode on the front-facing camera too. Here's a quick demo. Okay, so here is a portrait mode video test from the front-facing camera. And they both look good, but man, I have to say the Samsung is like cutting out my hair a little bit better here. You see this? Man, it's not bad. Let me do the hand test again with this. Samsung's nailing that. Look in between my fingers. And the iPhone looks like it's focusing on the face more, but man, this portrait mode video looks pretty good from the front. So on to low light video, I'm happy to report that Samsung did improve their nighttime video this year, and in moderate low light, you will see better video, and you will see more vibrant video like these flowers. That bumped up saturation can make the night video look more pleasing. In fact, in some cases, I actually saw that the dynamic range is better on the S22 Ultra. Take a look at those windows here. I was really taken back by this, so Samsung is going in the right direction. There is an auto FPS feature. I believe this is new, where it dynamically changes the frame rate to maximize low light performance, and this feature is also on the iPhone as well. But here's a side-by-side with it on and off. There's not much of a difference in my opinion, maybe slightly brighter with it on, but the noise is still there, which is a bummer. Here it is matched up side to side with the iPhone, and you can see that the Ultra's video is sharper, but I think that's due to the iPhone actually focusing on the rail itself, but the noise reduction is so much better on the iPhone. After looking at different scenarios and a lot of varying light sources, the iPhone is still the king of nighttime video. Look at how much smoother the night sky is, the noise control is so great, and the people walking in the video, the ground itself, everything is better rendered on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Here is a view of all the lenses. This is ultra wide video. The extra contrast helps the iPhone with better control all around. Next up is the main sensor video. Now it's getting a little closer, and this does show you the improvement that nighttime video has made on the S22 Ultra. Then we go to the 3x zoom, the iPhone with the cleaner and sharper video all around. You can see that on the detail of the rock itself. Better colors as well. And then onto the 10x optical zoom and the iPhone's max 9x zoom. They both don't look great, but surprising that the iPhone's digital zoom still looks better here. But I changed up the view to the top of this volcano, and here you can see the digital zoom better on the iPhone, but I don't think people would even use this at night. The next test is like a 2-in-1. We are testing walking stabilization, and they both look similar. You can see that the impact of my walk is a little more prominent on both, unlike the daytime. But look at the light flares again, not really visible from the Galaxy S22 Ultra. And even though the video itself looks so much better on the iPhone, I hope that Apple fixes this in the next iPhone, because it can ruin good looking footage. A couple more random tests. Here is the infamous red color replication test at the Coca-Cola building. And dang, Samsung is still failing at this. It is not this faded magenta color, it's red like you see on the iPhone. I feel that red replication has always been a weakness for Samsung cameras, so if they are watching this, please fix this, because it's been like this for years. Here's a portrait mode video test at night. In some scenarios, I was getting sharper and more vibrant results from the iPhone, but I did notice that the iPhone, even in moderate low light, was giving me the more light required pop-up. And you can see that it activates and deactivates on John's face often, so you will have more consistent results in low light with the S22 Ultra. In this scenario, the S22 Ultra has the sharper portrait mode video, but the exposure control is better on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Still blown away sometimes that you can do this from a smartphone, but an interesting feature on the Ultra is that you can shoot 3x portrait mode video, which is really cool, so make sure you try this when you get your S22 Ultra. I'm going to have to use this a lot more. One last thing, if you were wondering how the 8K video at night looks like versus the iPhone, then here it is. It doesn't look great in low light, so I would stick to the 4K instead, but I wanted to include this just in case you wanted to see what it looked like. So I think this is a great showcase of how far Samsung has come when it comes to video. The daytime I think is very close, so I think it's a toss-up. And the nighttime has improved here, like on the front-facing camera, but the iPhone 13 Pro Max still has the best nighttime video, but the S22 Ultra video is showing potential. It needs to work on noise reduction, but the sharpness and detail is improved, so with some software tweaking, this could get better as time goes on. So I wanted to make this video to show you what you can expect when you pick up your Galaxy S22 Ultra and how it compares to the best video that you can get on a smartphone right now. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did Samsung improve their video? Subscribe for more camera comparisons just like this one. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you catch up on all the tech goodness from smart home to smartphones. And I will see you in the next one.